All right, here's a little bit of truth for you. Today, I want to take you through some advice that I genuinely wish that I had been given when I became a mom. I was an entrepreneur when I became a mom. And while there was a lot about motherhood in general that was really jarring for me, there was even more about being an entrepreneur, running my own business that was extra jarring. So today, I want to take you through some advice that I love to give new moms now, and that I really wish that someone had just given me because I think that it would have saved me from a whole lot of pain, if I'm being totally honest with you. So I could do a whole episode on advice that I wish that someone had given me when I became a mom. Things like what happens to my physical body. I certainly wasn't ready for what was going to happen to my body after I became a mom. And I mean, long term, yes, but also in the short term, I had nobody, I knew that I needed diapers. I just didn't know how many I needed. I knew that my body was going to look different. I knew that I was going to try to breastfeed, but I had really no sense of what my milk coming in was going to look like. So certainly there was a lot, even just becoming a mom, that I knew nothing about. And I do think that being a mom and being an entrepreneur are so similar because it is a lot of trial by fire. It's a lot of figuring things out as you go. And I do think that motherhood has made me a better entrepreneur. Having been an entrepreneur before I had children, I think that my level of efficiency was pretty good before, but it got way better after I became a mom. But there are still so many things. And, part of the reason why we have these discussions, so many things about motherhood and the journey. And certainly when you layer in entrepreneurship, it's insane. And so let's dive into some really powerful advice that would have changed the game for me. And there are things that I would have learned along the way. Okay. Number one, you are going to want to compare yourself to other people in your industry who don't have kids. Don't do that. It's just not fair. It's not fair to yourself. Comparing yourself to other people is always a slippery slope. It is going down the rabbit hole into a trap that is unfair because regardless of, what you see of somebody else's life, even if it's on social media, which is such a highlight reel, you never know what's going on behind the scenes and people have access in different ways. Even comparing yourself to other entrepreneurial mothers can be something that I would discourage because I personally, and I've talked about this before in previous episodes, I personally don't have a village. We talk about, having the village and the people that are going to come and support you. I don't have that. And so it wouldn't even be fair of me to compare where I'm at in my business, whether it's my business coaching business or my social media marketing business, my agency. It wouldn't be fair to compare myself to another mom that has the village or has all of that support. And we all come from different circumstances. And, I like to joke that I don't know why the people that are giving productivity tips online are, 20 something men who don't have children. And I think these are, for whatever reason, these are the people that are spewing things like, get up at 4 a.m. and do all of these extra things. If you're not up by 4 and out the door, or you're not up by 4 to work out, like you're not doing the things. And so I just feel like there's so much information that's out there that really isn't supportive of moms, but also when you get down this comparisonitis trap of looking at what other people are doing, it just doesn't do you any service. And I don't want to pretend like I've never compared myself to other people. Like, of course I do. But one of the things that I've really tried to embody, especially over the last couple of years, is really just comparing me to me, comparing myself to where I was this time last year, because it is really honestly cruel to yourself to try to compare yourself to people that are not in your situation, certainly to people in your industry that don't have kids. As a business coach, there are a lot of people in the world, or in the world of Instagram anyway, spewing, talking about 100K months, 40K months, $1 million years. And very few of those people are mothers. Most of those people have hours upon hours during the day to create content, to be engaging, to record podcasts, and to be putting themselves out there. And that's just not reality for me. I'm very fortunate at this season in my life where my children are in care, Monday to Friday, 9 to 4 ish. So I do have a little more time, but certainly once 4 o'clock hits and my kids come home, I'm not available in at least until after bedtime. I lose, I don't want to use the word lose because that's not fair, but for me, I'm having to manage both of these roles and you are too. And so, when it comes to comparing yourself to other people, please don't do that in general, but certainly please don't do that with people that don't have kids and that aren't dealing with the same things that you're doing. Okay. I have notes today. Make sure I didn't miss anything. So, the next one is that you need to outsource aspects of your life. And I had a friend over this past weekend, and she does not have children, but she is a beautiful, very caring human being. Her name is Ashley. Her business is called Exponential Alchemy. I will be sure to tag it in the notes. But we were talking about some of the things that I'm struggling with right now in managing. And if you have not spent time with me before, my husband is a firefighter, and I work in my business full time. And I am in a season of my business where things are growing and they are growing fast. The demands on me right now, in terms of the amount that I'm having to work, that I'm working, um, it's much higher than it's been really at any point in this business that I'm building. And I am working, the entirety of the time really that my kids are away. I am still pushing to get my workouts in, but a lot of the things that I do to take care of myself have honestly slipped. Things like getting my hair cut, as you can see if you're watching this on video, my hair is extremely long. Things like getting massages, going to chiropractors. I'm really just taking care of my physical body and my health, and um, I've talked about this in previous episodes, but my health is so important to me. And in this season, I just haven't had space. And I was talking to Ashley about this, and I'm so appreciative of this external perspective because she said to me, well, why don't you outsource more things in your life? And while there's a lot of things that I am good at outsourcing, I have people on my team, I have VA support, I've got support in my business. And there are things that certainly in the past that I outsource. I think about having a nanny, I think about outsourcing really my childcare to daycare or school. Um, but some things I hadn't considered outsourcing were things like making meals, things like grocery shopping, things like doing the dishes and doing the laundry. And those are things that are really starting to pile up in my life. And because they're piling up, it's starting to create tension in my house because as the mother, and this is going to be a whole other episode and something that I don't believe in as a generalization, but there's a lot of invisible load that falls on the mother in the household. And I think there are so many reasons why this is. And my partner is extremely supportive. He does a lot of things around the house, but not everything, right? Certainly, there is nothing worse to me than working a full day, getting the kids up at 6, getting them to school, working from 9 to 4, picking them up, coming home, and then realizing I haven't thought about what we're having for dinner tonight. And that creates for me stress because I am dealing with health issues in my life right now that require me to make meals that look a certain way. And I just don't have the capacity for it. So I have talked a lot. It was so interesting talking to Ashley because I regularly encourage my clients to outsource things in their life. And it's something that I've gotten away from in the desire to grow and kind of have almost been blind to it, if I'm honest. And, we have a cleaner that comes to our home every 2 weeks and they're incredible, but that's doing some of it, but it's not getting all of it. So recently I posted, actually, I have a few applications I need to go through, but posted for a housekeeper. I need somebody to be in my home 15 to 20 hours a week to keep up with the things that I just can't keep up with right now. Laundry, dishes, decluttering, organization, kids' toys, toy rotations, all of these things that frankly take up a lot of time that I just don't have right now. Because if I were to do all of that, I genuinely would have no time for myself. And that's not what I want. I'm a human, I'm an introverted person. I require self care, I require time to recharge. And so, well, I recognize there's privilege in being able to do that. And I look forward to sharing how that housekeeper journey is going, mother's helper, housekeeper, whatever you want to call it, in future episodes. But that's where I'm at right now. So, my encouragement to you is to outsource the things in your life that aren't serving you right now. And there is privilege associated with that because you need to have the income to be able to outsource. But when you look at as a entrepreneurial mother, yes, you're going to have to outsource things in your business, right? Those are obvious. And if you're not outsourcing anything in your business right now, please at least outsource your bookkeeping. But outsource the things in your business that make sense. And then look at the things that you have to do at home on a day-to-day. If your partner is not able to support you or doesn't desire to support you, look at finding help in other places. And in an earlier episode, I talked about that shift into hiring a nanny and what that was like for me. And there are levels and layers to that, but you cannot do it all. You just can't. I talk to a lot of women that are, navigating this desire of wanting to grow their business and wanting to be um, wildly ambitious, but they feel this pressure because there's a giant pile of laundry. We call it laundry mountain in our house, that is either clean and unfolded or folded and not put away or piling up in the laundry basket that needs to be put in the washing machine. And those things start to weigh on you. They certainly weigh on me. And really, I'm having to take my own advice really over these last weeks, but knowing that it's okay to outsource things in your life, especially if you can replace that in your business. I don't live to work. I work, I have my business so that I can live the life that I desire. Um, and I don't want to be chained to my desk all the time. I don't want to be working all the time. I really desire the ability to have freedom, to go to the gym, to get my nails done, to hang it with my friends, to go to the spa for the day, which I'm still pretty good at doing that. But, really carving out the space to create what it is that I want to create in a day. And in order to do that, I have to outsource. Okay. So that's number two. Number three, this is the big one. And I had this conversation. This came from a friend of mine. You are going to feel like a bad mom some weeks. You are going to feel like a bad business person some weeks. You are actually neither. And I think sometimes when we look at our calendars and sometimes when we look at the things that show up, it's really hard. And I have yet to meet a mother that would say, I am 100% killing it in both roles at all times. I am simultaneously the best business owner and the best mom I can be at the same time. If you know that person, send them my way because I'd love to interview them for the podcast so they can tell us about their magic. But I think that it's okay to shift through periods where you're crushing it as a business owner, but you're not being the best mom that you can be. And there's other moments where you're like, you know what? I have to be the best mom I can be right now because my kids are sick or they need me. They're going through a tough time, big feelings, sleep regressions, emotions, whatever it is, that sometimes your business has to go on the back burner. And you are neither a bad mom or a bad business owner. You are riding the waves of the journey and learning to enjoy the journey rather than figuring out or focusing on the final destination will free you up for so much more. Okay. Next one is that balance is bullshit. There is no such thing as work-life balance. I have tried. I've tried. I've talked to other women that tried. And so often we talk about, I'm really just trying to achieve work-life balance. As an entrepreneur, you're probably not going to do that. So let's just give up on that for a second. Am I saying you should be working all the time? No. What I believe in though is work-life integration and finding ways that you can shift back and forth between your roles. And one of the ways that I do this is I'm not wearing it right now, but I wear a green bracelet. And it's this jade bracelet that I wear my wrist when I'm working. When I'm not working, I take the bracelet off. And for me, it sort of signifies to the people in my house, if my husband's home, this is the energy I'm in right now. Please leave me alone. I'm working. Or, hey, you know what? I'm available to chat now, or I'm ready to be in motherhood mode. And for me, learning how to integrate all of the roles that I play in my life rather than trying to achieve some sort of balance that probably isn't really there, is really important. And so knowing that you're probably not going to have a ton of structure, it will probably feel a little chaotic, certainly in the seasons and depending how old your kids are, but finding ways for you to mentally shift one role in the next. And for me, it's a bracelet. I've talked to other women who say they wash their face. Some people change their clothes, right? But finding ways to just integrate through the role, and know that, if you're like, I haven't found the balance yet, it's probably time to stop looking and probably time to figure out how you can integrate more of the things that you do in your day to day. The last one And this is probably the most important, is that your best is enough. And the number of times that I've thought to myself or think to myself over the course of the week is, I'm just doing my best. If you've ever thought that, know that I think that too. And it's such a powerful reminder to know that your best is truly enough. It is enough. We cannot expect more of ourselves than what we are actually capable of doing. And different seasons of life with our children and with our businesses is going to change that, right? You may have more capacity for your business as your kids get older. You may desire more capacity for your kids as your business gets more mature and your business grows and you're more stable in your business. But at the end of the day, your best is always going to be enough. So please do me a favor and stop trying to be more all of the time. You are enough exactly the way that you are. And if you are dedicating yourself to listening to this podcast, you are absolutely one of the rare people that genuinely, it is enough. If you're listening to this, I know your heart. If you're here because you want to have this conversation and you may be feeling like you're not doing all the things that you could be doing, but the fact that you're here tells me that you are, and that as you change, as your business changes, as your kids get older, things will open up for you. Okay. So that is some advice that I wish that I had been told when I became a mom. Nobody told me. So I am here to tell you. I hope that it was helpful, and I'll see you at the next one.